Hello everyone, and welcome to our backyard. I'm sitting out here in our backyard. It's Saturday, January 13th, and it's been really nice today. We've had high in the upper 60s, and the butterflies have been out, the birds have been out. I actually have had 2 hummingbirds in the yard all day today. And so it's getting a little bit later in the afternoon. It's about 20 to 4, and people are getting ready and busy for the upcoming hard freeze. So we're supposed to get, like many of you across the United States are experiencing, the polar vortex. Another polar vortex. Another one is coming down and coming through Texas and all the way through to the Gulf Coast. So we're expected to get a hard freeze, and so I wanted to just come out. It's almost been kind of a bummer and overwhelming. It's like, what do I do to try to save the few flowers that I do have? And so today was so nice, and the hummingbirds and butterflies were feeding, and I just didn't want to mess with that. So it's supposed to start getting colder tomorrow on Sunday, but Monday night is supposed to be the first hard freeze, and Monday and Tuesday for us are going to be pretty low. Hopefully we won't get into the teens, but I guess we'll see. One of the things that I feel particularly sad about, I am going to try to cover, but I've got some really nice Amante salvia that is growing, and it's just starting to bloom again, and my hummingbird really loves this salvia. Definitely loves the Amistad also, but this Amante I have found to be a tad bit, it was hardier in the summer for me than the Amistad was. I still have Amistad. So as you can see, I still have the Amistad beautiful purple salvia blooming, and just not as much. So I think I'm going to have to cut back all of this that has grown out from the side of my flower bed, and it's flowering actually quite a bit right now, and my hummingbird just loves it over here. But I believe I'm going to have to cut this back for when I cover tomorrow with frost cloth. So I am going to try to save some Gulf fritillary caterpillars. I have actually a lot of caterpillars left on my passion vine. And the passion vine has been eaten a lot. You can see we've just had tons of caterpillars on it, and this is what I have it for. Unfortunately, and I will wrap this, but unfortunately I don't think the foliage will be able to make it. It's just going to get, unfortunately, too cold. And so while I will try to save it, I think as I come up here, you can see I've got 3 caterpillars, pretty good sized ones, 1, 2, 3 right here, of the Gulf fritillary caterpillars. I don't think it's gonna be able to save it, unfortunately. And there's a lot. I hate that. I have tons of caterpillars, and it just makes me feel so bad, because even if the caterpillars, good Lord, even if the caterpillars would, by some miracle, make it, I won't have enough food for them, because all this foliage will definitely die back. So, that's the unfortunate thing with when we have freezes down here. I was telling my mother today, when we were having a conversation, that I've lived down here along the Gulf Coast for close to 40 years. Not quite, but close to 40 years. And 3 years in a row now, we have had these really severe hard freezes, and hadn't had that prior to these past 3 years. So, certainly could have had that before, and it's just not since I've been here. So it's been very unusual. It's the winters here have been unusual. The other thing that's kind of crazy is we were just reclassified in our USDA zone, or the zone for growing, and we went from a 9A to a 9B, meaning we've gotten a little warmer. And the zones are supposed to record your lowest temperatures, right? So I know it's an average over the last, I think it's been 10, 12 years. 2010, 11 was the last they redid the zones. And so it's curious that, ours increased, even though we've had these, now it's going to be these 3 winters with these really hard freezes. I love my hummingbird. I'm going to zoom in on her. She's way up in the tree. She talks a lot. She loves the yard. Of course, she loves the flowers. And she loves my neighbor's yards. And so we all have flowers for her to be able to feed off from. So, gotta save what I can. My tropical hibiscus have decided they've wanted to bloom here. The Mexican flame vine has been holding its own. It's actually flowered quite a bit. The butterflies certainly love this bloom. It's had a lot of butterflies on it, and it has a really pretty leaf color this time of year, before they do curl up and or die. But it's been a real interesting color along with the green. So I like this vine. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet to try to protect it. Flowers that I've recently planted, that are in pots, I'll be able to pull into the garage, so that won't be a problem. One of the plants I've shared with you that I've been so happy to have in the garden is this salvia, which is called Salvia madrensis, and it is a yellow salvia. And my hummingbird comes every day to visit this salvia. You can see these spikes are just long, and it has so many wonderful yellow blooms on it. So in the wintertime, this has been a real nice thing to have. I don't think I'm going to be able to protect this, though, unfortunately. So this might be one of my one of my things that goes in this hard freeze. It should come back from the ground, though. I'll be able to take into my garage things like my hanging baskets to protect them. But other things that are not protectable are, your vining plants that grow from the ground. Even if I have them secured in pots, those pots are not movable. They're just too heavy. Plus I do have them trellised. So hopefully our freeze won't be too severe, and it won't get as low as they're predicting. but I guess we'll see. So I know not many people are in growing zones where you have sometimes plants all throughout the year. Those of you that do, what do you do to protect your plants from freezes? Do you cover them? I'm going to be covering some with frost cloth, and in hopes that it will protect some. So anyway, got my work cut out for me in the next day. On a happy note, I've had a lot of, they're not here now because it's later in the afternoon, but have had a lot of goldfinches. So it was really fun. The goldfinches came this week, and sometimes we have them from mid-December on, but this year we've gotten the bulk of them. I've had a couple, probably 3 weeks now, but the bulk of them, and they're very chatty and they're very social, beautiful birds, and we have them for 2 to 3 months in the wintertime, and they're really fun to have in your yard. And so we got those just this week, so that's really has been a lot of fun with them. So I did want to create a video before I had to start covering everything, but in the comments, share with me what you do for a freeze. Do you just let come what may and then your perennials and everything come back from the ground up? Those of you that deal with this every year in zones where you do have winters and hard freezes, know you totally understand and go through this every year and prepare. Along the Gulf Coast, it's just a little bit different because sometimes we don't freeze, and so, we'll have butterflies and hummingbirds and pollinators right up until the freeze. And so, as a butterfly and hummingbird gardener, I try to protect what I can for them. So anyway, let me know what you do in the comments section. I'd be real curious. And I'll come back with a video and show you what we did. So I hope you all have a great day, and I hope to see you again.